Hello and welcome to your daily math recap. Today we were studying number patterns in graphs. So we're taking it one step further than we did yesterday, but we're still going to use some of the same things we learned yesterday and the day before. So let's start with this particular graph here. We have a coordinate grid that has some points on it, and we want to find the rule for this particular graph. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to locate and label the points. But we're going to do it in a table, similar to what we did yesterday. So I'm going to draw my table. I see that my x-axis, number of days, is my input. So it goes on the left. And my y-axis, p, goes on the right. That's my output. So I'm going to label the first point. I go over 1 and up 10. So 1, 10. Next point, over 2, up 20, 2, 20. Over 3 and up 30, 3 and 30. And starting at the origin, over 4 and up 40, 4 and 40. So now, I've labeled my points here, but I've also created an input-output table where I have a relationship between D, the number of days, and P, the number of pounds of fish. So when I look at the relationship between each, in order to get the number of pounds, I'm going to multiply the number of days times 10. So this particular graph is a multiplicative, it's a big word, pattern. And again, if you remember from yesterday's lesson, it's got the word multiplication in it, which tells us that we are multiplying each time. So now, from this, I can then generate a rule. In order to get the output, which is P, I'm going to take D and multiply it times 10. Remembering that when I place the number in front and the letter in the back with no operation sign, you're going to infer that that is multiplication. Okay? Let's try another one. There we go. We're not distracted. Okay? So we then have another graph here with an input and an output. So in order to find the rule, we're going to first make an input-output table by locating naming each point. Start by making your T-chart. Your input, which is your x-axis, goes on the left. Your output, which is the y-axis, goes on the right. To name this point, we go over 1 and we go up 5. 1, 5. To name the next point, we go over 2 and up 6. To name the next point, we start at the origin, we go over 3 and up 7. And to name the next point, we go over 4 and up 8. 4, 8. So now I've created an input-output table using the x-coordinate and the y-coordinate that correspond with the x-axis, the input, and the output. Well, if I look at the relationship, the output is the sum of the input plus 4. Therefore, this is an additive pattern. Remember, the word add is in our word additive. Now, we're going to take our input-output table and write a rule. That rule says that in order to get B, I'm going to take A and add 4. And that is my rule. Okay? Let's see if we can do this then in a word problem. Okay. it says if S is the amount of food a bottlenose dolphin eats in a day, and N is the number of days, which of the following describes the rule for the pattern shown in the graph? So they've given us the letters that we're going to use and what they stand for. So number of days would be N, and the shrimp that they eat would be S. So again, we're going to approach it the exact same way that we approached the two on the front of this page. We're going to make a table. Our input goes on the left, our output goes on the right. Now, these points are already labeled, so I can just take the X coordinate, put it on the left, the Y coordinate, and put it on the right. Now, I'm going to look at the relationship between the number of days and the shrimp that they eat. And I noticed, can't really tell with this one because it could be I'm multiplying times 0 or adding 0. So I'll go to my next one. I could be adding 22, but if I check here and I add 22 to N, I don't get 46. So I think I'm multiplying by 23. And if you're not sure, you could just come out to the side and check your answer. And it shows that I am. So this is a multiplicative pattern. So when I'm looking for the rule, I'm going to say, what is the relationship between the number of days and the shrimp that he eats? The shrimp is determined because I do the number of days times 23. And that would be answer choice B. Be careful that you don't choose C because you see that the input and the output are not in the correct place, and therefore that is not the answer. Okay? I hope this has been a help to you. Again, make sure you bring your questions to class tomorrow if you have any, so we can go over and discuss them. And I'll see you tomorrow.